with her first. Yeah, there we go. So that should be 4 promotions. Unfortunately, 0 canisters recovered and probably about 8 to 10 days of injury for one of our XCOM members.
Commander to the research labs. Commander to the research labs.
Welcome to
Right, so that is interesting. I could have sworn I upgraded all of them, so all of them have been promoted. That is a little bit of a blunder.
the heavy weapons specialist provides a crucial service to the squad.
Positive aspect is we do have a heavy which is not who is not wounded, and the wounding of our squaddy is only 4 days, which means if we are lucky we might even take him or her into the next mission. So let's do a little bit of base management here, and I'll move along and explain what exactly I'm doing. Number one, I definitely am going to customize my soldiers. Not so much of armor decoration, armor deco, but I am definitely going to go along with tint. Heavies usually are yellow. Assaults usually are red, and snipers usually are white. That's just my preference for color scheme. Let's see who, in terms of aiming, is a worthwhile recruit. So 33 will, 65 aim. Here we do have 37 will, 65 aim, so this is probably going to be one of our recruits. Recruits usually go with blackish or grayish customization, so just that I can see who is new. Some guys use pink or purple, which I really find funny. That one is a supremely good rookie. I really like 53 will and 80 aim, so maybe we make him our special rookie. Why not? 55 aim pretty much sucks.
Commander to the research labs. Commander to the research labs.
And that one is okay-ish as well. Our SWAT by itself, well, not too impressive, but we do have a couple of good ones. Okay, so let's move on. Research number 1, and don't be fooled by that. We are always going for weapon fragments. Number 2, let's look at the facilities. So that is pretty much okay-ish. That is unfortunate, but we can still go for it. This here is so good, I'd say. And we do have a clear building pattern in mind. We will start with 5 days excavation, then we will follow up with a workshop and another satellite uplink. That's about it for month number 1. And we will see whatever we can get after that. Usually I'm trying for a new power station, a lift for level 2, and maybe another satellite uplink. So we still have 0 melt. We do have a couple of credits which we are currently not going to use. We have used whatever we could / should have used so far. We're not going to hire anything. We are just going for satellites. So let's see if we are lucky with the events. So, excavation complete. We are so far lucky in terms of having recovered from our injured soldier. We are not so lucky in terms of events. I wouldn't have minded to get an event. All right, let's see. I'm a little bit surprised about the workshop. We definitely need an event quite soon because we need the first engineer. So our abduction, we are waiting for an abduction mission, which definitely needs to happen prior in the next day. So approximately at day 25, 24-ish is already quite late because we want to go for a workshop that requires us to have additional engineers, 6 to be quite precise, but we are not having 6 engineers. We're currently only having 5 engineers, which definitely means we need an additional one. Right, so once we have the additional engineer, we can go for a workshop, which will take 10 days, and we need 14 additional days for a satellite uplink. So, let's see. Here we go, abduction sites. So we do have 200 credits, which is okay-ish, but we're not going to bother. We do have 4 scientists, again, we're not going to bother. Here we do have 4 engineers, and lucky for us, it is not a very difficult, but only the difficult mission, which means we only fight against 9 and not against 12 sectoids. Very nice. So let's look at our SWAT for a second. We do have our sniper, assault, and our heavy with us. For the time being, since I do not have support, I'm going to modify the loadout. As much as I like shotguns, she's going to stick with the rifle for the time being. I think I'm going to clear the unit and look for... Was it Ben Harris? Yes, I'm going to look for Ben. Ben, with a monster aim of 80, is going to be our 4th member. Now, the 4th member is nearly always going to be, even if you take another one, is nearly always going to be promoted into a support, if that's the last class that you are missing. I do like the idea of having a support with a high aim, because the support will have the option for suppression fire, a couple of reflex shot options as well, which all require a relatively high aim. And funny enough, due to squad side and due to high ground, you can fix the aim on a sniper if it is relatively low, but the classes where you really want to have a high aim are usually the supports due to the reflex shots and the heavies. So in that sense we kind of suck with this heavy, but what can you do? The stats have been randomized. We want to have usually a higher aim on the heavy, which helps us because we are going to take bullet swarm, and that is requiring a significant precision. So here we go, second mission, 0 casualties so far, also only 1 injury. And we have a very interesting mission. That one is quite scripted. It is difficult compared to other missions, but we certainly can do it. There's a nice option for high ground here. Unfortunately, our sniper so far doesn't have SWAT side, but I like the map. I like the map generally. It sucks if you're having thin men on it. But we are currently not having thin men. They can't spawn so far. So it is going to be very interesting. Now, in terms of why that map isn't too shabby, let's look at it for a second. We do have a large building here. We do have a complex here, and we do have a very, very large building, even a 3-stock building at the end. We do have a lot of vision blockage, which is super, super nice because we're only going to trigger a limited amount of pods, and we can move at our more or less own pace, plus we do have doors. And as I always tend to say, doors are nearly securing you a win on a map, because aliens are super shitty in using them. You can set up flanks most accurately with doors, and that's exactly what we are going to do. So the game plan for that map is going to be, we are trying to invade this building, going to clear it out. We do have a couple of windows even for crossfire sections, and we are going to try to establish a grip on that door and have a back door for a nice flanking fire behind here. So this is going to be our crossfire section. We are going to ignore this part for a bit, also because there are a lot of long ways which we are not necessarily very comfortable fighting in. We do not have the supreme firepower over a long distance. Keep in mind that our aim is still pretty shitty, but we do have a couple of nice tools. Now, as always, you do not want to move your sniper first, and you do not want to move your heavy first, because they do have special abilities which we definitely would want to use later on. Number one is going to be our assault. So with this movement settled, we are going to adapt the remaining movement as we did before, shortly checking for melt to see if there is anything that could influence our decision in going that way. No, there isn't. I am pretty certain that a melt canister is spawning here, that a spawn location, there is always only an option, a spawn location of a melt canister is here, another one is here, and another one is here. But I'm still going to, I'm still tempted to go that route. So since it's not opening any other line of sights, I'm going to put the sniper here and the heavy here, which literally are marking the entries to the door. Let's, for the time being, use the Overwatch. The sniper is going to use the Overwatch with his pistol, Overwatch, and that's about it. Right. Okay, remember that I talked about earlier that a melt canister theoretically can spawn here. Now we are in a tempting decision. The nearest melt canister, and that's what the game just told us, is basically here. Now this also, unfortunately, it is to be quite precise here. Now that is also unfortunately the most shittiest place where the melt canister could be, because it is in the center of a very, very prominent and open location. So even if we would run through that hallway, all of that hallway, we would end up having a flank here, a significant flank here, lots of shots from here. That one is a complete open area, and let me don't even get started about the truck that is standing here and the two potential pods that come from here. Now, there are situations when you need to be greedy, and there are situations when you need to say fuck it, and this is the latter one. I am not going to take it. So, with the two guys in position and no further windows here, there is only a very, very limited danger in us going in fully. So this is one of the seldom circumstances when I'm going to dash, because remember as well that I said there is a potential second location of a melt canister, and I haven't given up on that one so far.
Already there.
No Overwatch, but we block the door, which prevents nasty habits of the aliens of running into your room and then standing kind of in the back of your whole group. Now opening the door, because no action units whatsoever, and 3 sectoids. The room itself is completely closed, with the exception of